In this episode, we have the pleasure of speaking with Matt Smith of Primal Adventures, and he will be discussing how he has successfully grown his luxury adventure brand here in Scotland. Welcome to episode 225 of the Digital Tourism Show.
Scotland is truly beautiful.
There's something really primal about it.
It's one awesome adventure.
It's a chance to see Scotland, all its natural beauty. It takes you back to nature. The best bit about it is a chance to learn something new every day.
People coming on this trip should be people that are looking for a bit of a challenge. They'll learn a lot about survival mentality, survival mindset. They're going to be pushed to the limits.
Seeing people reconnect with their authentic selves, it's like they are being who they truly are.
For our ancestors of old, living off the land, it was a simpler way of life, it was more natural. So it's great to come away and go primal, and I think more and more people want to reconnect through authentic wilderness experiences. Scotland is probably one of the best places to do that.
It's about pushing limits physically, but also mentally. It's a trip of a lifetime.
Now, before we start discussing Primal Adventures, so for anybody who's unfamiliar with your background, you served in the military for about 22 years, I believe.
22 years, mate, yeah.
So how's that helped you set up Primal Adventures and how to the business?
I didn't think I was ever going to join the military, you know. I actually wanted to go to art college and be an artist. And I grew up in Ardrossan, a wee boy for the West Coast. And growing up, there's a big castle there, Ardrossan Castle. I don't know if any of you have ever seen it. So I always had these fantasies of medieval knights and people going away on adventures. And you know, being down on the West Coast, you've got the Isle of Arran, of course you've got all the islands. You've got the coast and the hills and I was like, this is amazing. But I kind of just took it for granted, do you know what I mean? Because you kind of grew up there. And then I went to school and then Top Gun came out and I realised that I wanted to be a pilot. And then I went to I think it was Buchanan Street, and it was the RAF, the Army and the Navy recruitment centre, all the same streets. And I went into the RAF and they were like, looked at my grades and they're like, go next door, wee man, we're not recruiting this year. As I went to the Navy and they were like, go next door to the Army, mate, I think they might be accepting. And they were like, and I was like, and 22 years later, here I am, you know. But no regrets, I loved it. It's a real lever. They give you loads of opportunities. I'm going to really start selling the Army now, do you know what I mean? I'll rush off and join the Army. But no, I loved it. I mean, a wee boy for Ardrossan growing up, you know, picked tatties and fried chips and made ice cream and wash windies, and the Army gave me so many opportunities. It was amazing. From stepping out your comfort zone and getting in front of people and meeting cultures and going all around the world, and and that in itself is a bit of an eye opener, because growing up, if you didn't have a lot going for you, you didn't have an apprenticeship, but it was either a couple of options you could really go. It was kind of like making the most of that. So that's what I done. I got into it was really either technical trades in the military or kind of the more kicking indoors and kind of infantry stuff. So I kind of niched myself around about the middle. I was always passionate about the outdoors, so I started taking expeditions and going around the world and leading expeditions. So from the organisation to planning to actually taking it. And then I really loved the kind of winter side, and I niched myself into kind of ski touring and kind of alpine and Nordic skiing. And that opened a lot more doors for me. And so that was awesome because, you know, it gave me the skills and the confidence and the self-discipline to do what I'm doing today.
Cool. So how did, obviously with that background, and from what we've seen in the video, it's Primal Adventures is not your typical adventure tour company that you would normally see. So how has your background shaped the type of products that you bring into the business? We've seen there shooting and carving up.
It just kind of organically grew into that, Chris, if I'm being honest. I was actually in Afghanistan in 2014, and 2012, and I knew I was getting out of the army in 2016. And I didn't want to be that guy who's like, get out of the army, I don't know what I want to do, I'll go and get a job. I always knew I wanted to work for myself and do something, because I had all these skills and I was really passionate about doing what I do. And so I always remember I was in Afghanistan, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do, and it was like something inherent, and it's all what the basic needs is survival. We strip everything back, it's the basic needs to have food, have protection, have water and warmth, and all that good stuff. And so I started thinking about that, and when people are kind of shooting at you and blowing you up and stuff and trying to, it kind of really hones those senses, and you're like, there's something here, and this is something that I want to really deliver when I get outside. So I started thinking about that, and then initially we started in 2014 doing primal bushcraft and survival, and that company's still going now, and we do courses where we run skills days, teaching people about our primal ancestors, about food, fire, water, shelter, safety, survival skills. And then it was like, okay, well, what's on our doorstep? And it was the whole west coast of Scotland and all the islands. And then we started doing sailing trips and doing island survival and castaway trips. And then through the whole authentic wilderness experience, it was like what Scotland really got. And it was like kind of right going back to how our ancestors lived, and kind of like our Highlander. We kind of niched ourselves in a kind of Highlander theme, and like the whole kind of Jacobites and how they, not just the Jacobites, but just the Highlanders and that kind of whole area as a time period. And then we kind of was like Outlander, and it's like, okay, that's it's a little bit cheesy, but we're not kind of going that area, but it's more about how they lived. So it was about what they ate, foraging off the land, the training, the weapons they used, how they stalked their prey, and it was like it became a whole course. So that was another area that worked, and it took us like 5 years now to actually work out what has worked and what doesn't work. And that's, I think, as any business, as you're going through a journey, you find that out, what works and doesn't work. You kind of get rid of the chaff and use the stuff that works, and that's so we've got a really good product now. And it's
excellent. So you class yourselves as a sort of luxury product. So what makes what you guys do luxury? A lot of people wouldn't think shooting and carving up animals is a luxury. So what's the luxury element of it?
Don't want to do that. Well, again, we were always doing it, and what I've always learned is people like the idea. You have your hardcore element, people who want to do it, and you'll have those who like the idea of doing it, but they only want to do it for a wee while, and you have those who are like that. I'm never doing that ever. But throughout the journey, we realised that people wanted to experience it, but then go and stay in a nice 5-star hotel, or go and have a spa or a couple of drinks afterwards. And then you had those who were hardcore and just, I want to get in amongst it. And then you had those who were like, I want to go hardcore, but then I also want to do the 5-star. It was a bit of a mixed bag, and we didn't actually realise we were doing it because people are private clients and bespoke stuff. Because we were doing bespoke stuff, they were like, can we, book a luxury yacht, and we want to do a bit of wilderness survival and tie-in with wildlife, and yeah, sure. And that didn't happen until about the third year. And it's only really in the past 2 years that we've went, we've got something here. No one else is really doing this, so let's kind of do a bit of a pivot and switch fire to dealing with that market. And then, so in the past 2 years, we've had clients who are ultra marathon runners, and they want to do like a 4-day expedition up the west coast of Scotland that's encapsulating luxury yachts and speedboats and hammocks and bell tents. You're like, that's not very luxe, but you can dress the bell tents up. But it depends what they want to do. And it's like peaks and troughs. So out of comfort zone, and then they're back into out of comfort zone, and that's also a big part of it, because we're very much quite insular and we're safe in today's environment and technology, and it's just as a culture we've got everything, we've got the TV in the car and a nice house and that. There was actually a power cut in my house a couple of nights ago, and I was like, right, this is it, I'm getting the bow out. There's a bow and arrow. And the missus comes upstairs with the torch, she's like, oh, there's a power cut. She's looking out the window, the other houses there's a power cut, It was like, and straight away she's on Facebook and she's like, oh, everyone else is power cut. I was like, well, this is it, this is a start of the apocalypse, but we don't preach the fear and the doom and gloom, because there's enough of that out there. So it's about getting people outside, getting back to basics, learning about authentic wilderness living skills, and actually having really good experiences, because at the end of the day, you're only checking out with one thing, folks, and that's memories, so whether it's good or bad, and good experiences. So that's what we want to give people that. So that's basically what we're all about.
It's interesting with the power cuts, always that way you think, where did a pack of candles? Always looking for candles somewhere. Well, one of our last speakers who is very much in the sort of adventure market was Neil Lapping. He spoke about how he grew his business through lots of Google ads and things like that. That was a predominant sort of angle that he took, marketing channel that he took. So what channels have been successful for you in terms of growing up Primal Adventures? What's sort of worked for you and what hasn't worked for you that you felt?
It's been a real minefield, because I'm being honest, mate. When we first started, being in the army doesn't teach you about entrepreneurship and going into business. Certainly there's courses that they'll give you money to go on, but I'm still learning. It's a total learning curve. So before I went to Afghanistan, I made a website. I made it myself, and I went to Afghanistan for a 7-month tour, and I came back. I was like, I'm going to have loads of bookings, because I just made it. That's it. The business, I'm set for life. And I was like, no hits, no nothing. I was like, let's get on. And so I had to learn all that. And then through trial and error, through Facebook. Facebook's good. You've got to know your target audience. You've got to know all your keywords. And initially when we started, it was like put on some money down. I've got 7 million people. I'm going to target great. And it's like you've ever got a couple of 100 hits. So now we've just niched that right down, and things are starting to work. Google ads work, but again, you obviously need funding for that. So because we've had time served, what we've found really worked is word of mouth. People come on the course and they go, that was awesome, and then it kind of naturally grows. I've also made that video there, that guy, just out of interest, is Matt Carollanan from We Make Good Video Happen, if you want to check that out. But he's a really cool guy. He used to work for BBC, and he does some awesome videos. So when we do big stuff, I get him on board. And just through videos and that, and other videos that I've made, I've got obviously work at the back end of that. But the wife now, she's like, Alex, stop making videos, right? Just start getting something funny, you know what I mean? Because they're like, because I love my videos, you know what I mean? But word of mouth, mate, I'd say is basically the big one.
It's best form of marketing.
Yeah, I mean, also through the military, I haven't really tapped into the old kind of veterans networking, but I've just, a couple of weeks back, a good friend of mine, I've been invited to, because the survival is a big part of what we do, to go to Antarctica to deliver Arctic survival training to some people, some research scientists who are flying out to Antarctica. So I'm like, that's pretty cool, 3 trips to Antarctica. I was pleased, I'll do that.
So when it comes to trips in Antarctica and the things that you do find it has to be people who are generally fit, and it's not like just anyone who decides to come along and...
No, that's a separate trip. That's nothing. I've been invited to go along to that, so it's nothing without. I'll try and kind of get that in there with my business, but that's more of a kind of consultancy thing, which we do as well. Okay. But I'm just that whole having those opportunities through that network to go and do things like that. There's some really good leverage there that I should maybe start.
That may open up more doors for you for people coming in. Nice one.
Yeah.
So for the people here and anyone watching thinking about starting up an adventure-based company, what's the sort of one piece of advice that you would give them? Obviously, not everyone has 22 years worth of training in the army.
No. It's the I asked this. They used to call me. I finished up as a sergeant major, and they used to call me the Zen sergeant major. I don't know why, because I was quite chilled out. Maybe that was why. But and I'd always say to people, what is it you want to do? What is it you're good at? And people are like, I don't know, because nobody's ever asked. What are you talking about? Nobody's ever asked me that question. Well, what do you enjoy doing? And so it sounds really basic, but that's the crux of it, isn't it? Whatever you're passionate about and what you're good at, just start off doing that, and then just slowly start, building up, your social media, start building up a following, and start before you're ready. You know, that when I was 2014 when I made that website, thinking that I wasn't ready. And there's actually a really good story when I was in the military. I went and done P Company, which is like airborne training to jump out of planes to Paris. And it's a really arduous course. And we got there, and we're in the auditorium, and there's a big sergeant major on the stage, and he goes, "Okay, guys, congratulations. You've done the hardest thing so far, and that's completing the form, the actual form to come on this course." He goes, "Now the real work, the training begins." And I was like, "Wow, that's amazing. That's really." It's like a bit like in life as well. You know, if there's something you really want to do, then just go and do it. You're either going to success or you're going to have failure, but you're always going to learn from your failures to then know what you need to go and do it again. And on that course, it was mega arduous. You know, there was a lot of guys that fell away, but it's like, I haven't even started this course, and this guy's saying good effort, because you actually stepped out your comfort zone. And you probably know people through your own kind of walks of life, like, oh, I was going to do that, but I'm too old now, or got married, whatever else. You know what I mean? It's like, don't make excuses, just go and do it.
Yeah.
So find out what you're good at, follow your passion, and just do it. Just go for it and start. I think it was Tony Robbins. Start before you're ready.
Yeah.
I think
It's a bit like what Lee was saying. It's coming from the heart what you do, and it's that passion and stuff like that coming across. You've got to enjoy it. You know
Of course,
what I mean?
man, 100%.
So I'm going to open up the questions to the floor. If anyone's got any questions for Matt, you put the hands up. Is there a question at the back?
Right.
Jess, could you pass that over to Amanda, please?
Oh, sorry, shocking. Thank you for that. That was really interesting. I have a question about your video, actually. Are your tours only open to men?
Oh, no, of course not. No, there's a couple of female in there. I'm sure there's a couple of female. No, actually, some of them visit Scotland, phone me up, and they're like, "Matt, those videos are great. It's a real niche for women to go on these." And I was like, of course. I was like, "You want to send me?" So that's something I'm actually going to make a specific video for women. Of course it is, yeah. I mean, I'm not like, it's up to anyone. Anyone can come and do it. It's just being a guy, being in the military, coming out. I don't have like, I sound really sad now. Was a woman, hey, come on, of course, so that was just guys that I worked with in my environment. So yeah, of course it is, yeah.
Well, just FYI, there are loads of female content creators that are based in Scotland.
Oh, okay, great.
Who are super outdoorsy. Wayfaring Kiwi, Yvette Morrissey, she was the first woman to solo hike the West Highland Way. She did it with no training. She did it to raise money. There are numerous people around that would be really interested in that, I'm sure.
Well, it's interesting you say that, actually. One of my instructors, female instructor, she's part of is it ambassador for Women Gone Wild. And she's obviously one of the ambassadors, so we're doing more with her to actually, because obviously you take this, and this is her kind of lead, and she's kind of going with exactly what you're saying, bringing more women into. Women are doing it anyway, and I've got a lot of female instructors that it's quite hard. I mean, for me as a guy, it's quite hard for me to find them. Do you know what I mean? But I know they're out there, so maybe I'm not just looking at the proper areas. So if you give me some help with that, would be great.
Yeah, happy to connect you.
Yeah.
There's more of a technical question to do with how you run. Oh, sorry. How you run your business. I think we spoke briefly earlier on. I'm just stepping into this kind of world. I work in the outdoors. We mentioned that. I'm just looking at adventure tourism as a business. My background's in electronics, then into outdoor instructing. Do you? I was strongly advised by people in the tourist industry not to get involved in booking hotels and accommodation for clients. Do you book on behalf of, or do you book the whole package?
So there's a couple of questions in there. When we first started, it was just me and a couple of guys, just really passionate about it, doing what we do. And then things started to happen, and it was like, let's get serious. So then we started to actually build a proper business, whereby I had to get a proper personal assistant. I've now got someone who actually deals with the day-to-day emails and administration and a little bit of HR, which frees me up to now come away and do stuff like this. And then I've got an ops manager who can facilitate training and take the guys that I've got, a lot of freelancers. There's a lot of stuff we do is bespoke, and we can't just be sat there waiting for someone to give us a call. So that was the kind of the growth part of the business. And then, sorry, what was the
The
last part?
question was just I was advised not to get involved in
Oh, yeah,
directly
so-
booking accommodation, but
I think in the early days, certainly not.
recommend or-
No, I wouldn't. Not. I mean, there is platforms out there, and there's people you can go to, and that's solely what they do, and they'll take commission. But I think just get yourself out there, get the ball rolling,
Yeah.
and then you naturally meet people who will niche with you and kind of your product, and you'll be like, yeah, you're a good fit. Can you just deal with that? And a lot of time it works out easier for them to do that because they know that business, and it's about just playing at your strengths. Like when it comes to, I'm not a ones and zeros guy. I'm like out meeting people and joking about and ducking and diving. But when it comes to administration, I'm like, somebody else deal with that. So you're spinning so many plates, especially in the early stages, and to try and do it all, you just end up burning yourself out. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the hotel side of things, it's a lot of businesses do it. Well, my experience as well, and they provide that service where they look up all the hotels for you and everything else. But I think you have to build up that rapport first. I wouldn't just have that straight away off the bat in terms of saying, right, we'll just book up these hotels without actually getting in and knowing them and finding out more about them and make sure they're the right fit for your business.
Yeah, as soon as you offer that service out there, you're actually becoming a tour operator rather than a guide, if you like. And it's a whole different legal entity as well, I believe. So.
Yeah, it's me, Frank. Really interesting business, and from a point of view of how you set about the actual itineraries that you do for guests, do you strictly do it bespoke to what people want, or do you give them an idea? Do you have some sort of a template that people can come and say, I've got a group of six, and this is the kind of, the sort of the high, medium, and low. We're good, we're not so good, and we're not so fit, maybe.
So you've got products that work, and people go, I want bespoke, but you're still kind of spoon feeding them ideas because they don't know what they want. You know what I mean? So it's kind of you're giving them the ideas. So we have stuff that we know really works and is good, but then if people are like, no, I want to do this, 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 and this, then we make it happen, and we're kind of a nation finding ourselves to be the folk who are the go-to guys for, say like the destination management companies. If they get a request and they're like, we can't deal with this, they'll come to us and then we'll make it happen. And it's normally to do with, and what we're finding is more people are switching to, I keep saying switching fire, that's an old army term, sorry folks. When I started doing this, I just spoke total military terminology, my instructors had to go away and Google like what I was actually talking about, So yeah, sorry, I've just digressed there. I forgot what your question was.
No, it was about the sort of the diversity of
the bespokeness. So what we're finding is more people are disconnecting from technology to reconnect with nature, and the way we explain it to you, there's only so many ways you're going to reconnect, and I'll probably get it for you guys, is you're connecting through people, you're connecting through nature, you're connecting through experiences and the outdoors. And then when you've done all that, then you jump on technology and you go, oh yeah, and you tell it. But what we're doing is we're at technology, oh hi Chris, oh, nature, yeah, that's great, take a picture. It's like, so you just
looking at everything through a lens.
Yeah, it's like just cut all that out and just go back to grassroots and then give them, so it's a bit of a mix and match of, we can do this, this and this, and they'll come to us and go, no, we want to do this, this and this. And then we make it happen, so yeah. And then we've got packages, of course, that work. Yeah.
So do you put their phones in a safe and that?
You can do sometimes, yeah. It depends how hardcore they want to go, do you know what I mean? Like I said from the start, some people they like the idea of it, but like psychologically, and that's what it's down to at the end of the day. If I see Choli's now in the room, right guys, we're all going to head out for a week and we're going to go in the wells and survive. For some of you that'd be like your worst nightmare. For some of you like, yeah, that's great. But if I say we're just going to do a couple of days and then we're going to go to a 5-star hotel, you're like, oh, yeah, count me in. Because you know there's an end state, but it's when you don't know there's an end state, that's when, and it's quite good in seeing people change and come out their comfort zones, and then like at the end of it they look back and go, well, that was awesome, And actually, if you look back in your own personal lives, the most vivid times you remember is when you were probably uncomfortable, and you go, I think we're actually the best times. You don't think it at the time. Some of you are like, no, that's not true. You know what I mean? But for a lot of people it is. It just depends how you look at it.
I suppose it's true. I remember when I think it was halfway up Mount Fuji, and I was going, what the hell am I doing? And then when you get to the top, you're like, okay, right, this makes it worth it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Halfway house, yeah.
Any last questions for Matt? Jessica's got one.
Hello.
Yeah,
So for most tour companies, they're obviously, especially in Scotland, going into their kind of low season. What do you do as a company to prepare for that and the reduction in sales? Or actually, when you plan out your diary, do you actually have that if everyone's kind of a little bit more extreme?
of course, yeah. So a few years back, we obviously planning like a year in advance. We started, what have we got in Scotland when it's cold? We've got snow and we've got the mountains, so we're doing like winter survival, we're going ski touring, we actually took bell tents up the top of the cairngorms, and ski tourer will go at the top and he'll come off and he'll go home and he'll come back and he'll do the same thing again on a weekend, whereas if you've got a halfway house, with a wood burning stove in there, then that's something different, and it's just thinking out the box and doing different things. So yeah, through trial and error, and then we've got packages where we can go to Norway and do a ski tour and stuff like that. So yeah, it's of course it is a trait where everyone just kind of peters off, but it's how you just kind of keep the ball rolling and keep yourself live and active.
Yeah, it's finding those different sort of products and stuff, depending on the seasonality and stuff. And a lot of me just knows ourselves, a lot of businesses just shut off and that's them.
Yeah.
And every season you're thinking, well, you could have this other opportunity you could be looking at and generating more money and stuff. So I completely agree. Well, I can't thank you enough for your time.
Welcome, mate. Thank you. Thank you guys.
Before we leave, I've got to ask, what is your favourite place to visit? Is it Scotland?
Scotland, mate, yeah. I've actually when I got out of the army, because I was still passionate about travelling and doing expeditions, I was like, I was going to Bulgaria doing horse archery, and I was going to Norway, and I was going here, and I was going there. And the wife was like, why did you get the army? I was like, because I want to spend time with you and the kids. She's like, well, you're not doing that. She's like, I was like, oh, neither am I. She goes, everything's in Scotland. And I was like, do you know what, you're right, everyone is in Scotland. And I've been here ever since. I've been here all my days, and I always come back. Even when I was in the army, I go away. I miss the greenery and I miss the hills, and Scotland, mate.
Well, thanks again. Can everyone take a massive thank you for that?
Cheers.